where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you landed here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We got to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys and show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfare.
Chief Concerns is presented by BetOnline and Olipop. Marcus Dash here from Chief Concerns, and ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the year. It's football season, and you know what that means? It means it's time to get in on BetOnline. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200,000. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our 150 slot games. Head to the website today and get in on the action. Bet online, the game starts here. Come on, baby, go. Yes! That's a first down. This football season, I'll be putting down normal sodas like Coca-Cola for Olipop. Olipop offers a healthier alternative with its low sugar content and natural ingredients. Olipop is more than just a drink. It's a wellness companion that supports your digestive health. Packed with prebiotics, this fizzy elixir helps promote good bacteria in your gut, leading to improved digestion and overall well-being. So go ahead, click the link in the description and use promo code SODALOVE and get your can of Olipop so you can enjoy the game guilt-free. Go Chiefs. Use the promo code SODALOVE for 15% off now. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Monday Morning Tight End on your Monday evening, coming off a Victory Friday, and we're here on a Victory Monday, JD. JD, how we doing, brother?
Doing well. I'm doing well. It has been cold here in Kentucky. We're beginning to snow. Another little thing of snow supposed to be coming through tonight.
Snow?
So, yeah, snow.
Damn.
Snow. So I'm down here in the dungeon right now, man. Warming up. Should have came down here, warmed up a little bit more, but I'm good to go. I'm good to go. This season, the season during the obviously in the winter, when you see snow and stuff, it's just customary for me to wear my toboggan around, man. I love wearing my toboggan. And so I had this, man, on the shelf up there in the closet, and I'm like, man, let me throw my little toboggan on. So I'm going to rock that thing tonight, baby. It's got the nice little KC logo on it. And so I'm nice and warm as I need to be. So I'm good to go, man. How you doing? What's been going on with you?
In Kentucky, they say, is it interchangeable, beanie and toboggan, or is toboggan like the customary word they use for beanies in Kentucky?
I don't know anybody calls this a beanie.
Really?
No.
Interesting.
Beanies seem something more like what kids wear. And I think beanies are kind of like we will put under our helmets. That's what we call beanies, or maybe put on your helmet, or even like the smaller toboggans. You know how they have the real thin ones? That would be kind of like a beanie. Okay. This right here, man, this is the toboggan right here all day. So, but now I don't. So somebody says beanie, I would know like beanie.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah. When I went to school in West Virginia, and a few of the guys that were from like Western PA, they called it toboggans. And I was in Northern Virginia, DC area. We call them beanies, pretty much, or beanies or winter cap is what some people call it. Winter cap.
Winter cap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds a little bit too much.
It's too much.
Cap on? You got a winter cap? No. A toboggan is what we call it. Or maybe the skinner, the smaller, thinner ones too. Like before, under your helmet, you might call it a scully. Scully's another one.
Skull cap, yeah.
Yeah. So, Those would be my two, man. But beanies, now beanies always feel like it's a little. You can't give a big thick toboggan like this, call that sucker a beanie, man. So Alder Brown said, I know in North Carolina we call them toboggans. When I joined the Army, they called them skull caps. Beanie was the phrase for TV. I guess, yeah. So yeah, I didn't know where the beanies. Remember they had like the Beanie Babies? Weren't there Beanie Babies?
Beanie Babies, yeah.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I just never called them beanies. Never called it beanie. Jeep hat, Jeremiah de los Muertos. Jeep hat. I ain't never heard it called that, Jeremiah de Muertos.
Never heard of that either. Vegas Chief came and says, I thought toboggan was a sled.
Toboggan is a sled.
Huh.
It is a sled. You can call it toboggan. So I don't, maybe it's, but also that's why I was known as as toboggan as well.
Right. So, okay, multiple meanings, right? But beanie can be a winter cap, or it can be a little stuffed animal kind of thing, or a little beanie bag, a little beanie.
Yeah. Yeah, a bean bag or beanie, like you said, a little beanies. Yeah, the ones you used to throw around, like hack-a-sacks or something.
Hack-a-sacks, yeah.
Hack-a-sacks. Right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Now we
meanings for these things.
Mm-hmm.
Original, a Scully.
Scully, yeah, Scullies. The Scullies, like I said, was another one's like a little smaller, but yeah, you can have the Scullies. I always sports my Mahomes beanie. So G-Pick, was it thick like this G-Pick, or was it more thinner, like the thinner ones, So that's something to know. Good debate. Shoot, let me holler at all the people that's in here, man. It's been a while. So, we had a long weekend. I don't even know what the weather's like for you out there. It's a sock cap. Huh? Greg Rose? Nah, I ain't never heard that one before. That's good.
Nearby.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. What's up, Amanda Brown, Greg Rose, G Pick, Andy Chanel, Lynn Julian, Jeremiah de Muertos, Vegas Chief Kingdom. Mike, what's going on? They said, what we call them beanies, the thin ones under the helmets were skull caps. Okay, so skull caps, beanies, but yeah. Greg Rose, already holiday hymn. Let me see. G Pick, Trey L. What's going on? What's good? Let me see who else we got in here. Hannah. What's going on, Hannah? Witchy Hall, what's going down? How you doing? Mike Brennan is in the house. We're going to have a good conversation tonight, man. There's some good things kind of happening. Maria is in here. Let me see. So a lot of things happen, man, kind of in the sports world. At least, in football, different things happen. I had to tell my brother about. He didn't get to see the Thursday game with Chicago Bears and Detroit Lions. Dude, and I was telling my brother, I said, man, the way everything transpired in that game, Eberflus needed to go. See you later. I remember I seen that the look on his face, and I had to keep riding it back, just kind of rewinding it and showing him, and him walking out. I said, see you later, Eberflus. See you later. Okay, that's what you get for throwing your whole staff under the bus. That's what you did. You did that to save your own neck. That's what he did. That's what he did, Marcus. Okay, wasn't his fault. He got retained. Hey, man, catch up to you. So not only that, man, we seen some good games this weekend. I won all my fantasy games, man. And look,
Wow,
I'm getting here. It's almost playoff time, and this is my last charge. I need to win these last games, Marcus. So if y'all play fantasy, y'all know what it's all about. I need to get into the playoffs to have a chance. And it's just like regular football. You get into playoffs, everything changes. It's a new season. So,
I wanted to ask you. So you talked about the games this weekend. I know you're not a big college guy, but it became kind of like national news, the planting the flag business.
Yeah.
What's your take on that? Because a lot of old school guys I've seen say, like, obviously the planting the flag thing became a new thing over the last few years. Like maybe it happened back in the day, but it became a big thing after Baker Mayfield did it to Ohio State after they beat them in that primetime game Saturday night, back in 2017. But a lot of older football players are saying win the game. And you don't have to cry about getting a flag, opposing team's flag planted on your field. Win the game, and it's not a story. What's your take on that?
My take is, as a coach, I believe in teaching good sportsmanship, and I do believe that planting your flag on your opponent's field is disrespectful. One of the highest things you could possibly do. If you won the game, then enjoy the win. Okay. And I seen the young fella from Michigan was talking about, like learn how to lose. And he had a great point. But also too, I was sitting there thinking like, yeah, that's a great point. But also too, young man, learn how to win. Learn how to be a winner. And have some couth. Have some decency when you do it. And I put all of that on the coaches, to be honest with you. I really do. I fought them for how everything went down. And if you can't handle your guys, especially college guys, there's an issue and a problem. Now, look, I understand the guys do what they want to do. Okay. I've been on staffs that we've had some fights happen after the game was over, high school and college. And so we took care of it. We did. There's times we had to hold the whole team back. And a lot of it is, at that age, you get hot-headed. Okay. And everybody feels like, they're being disrespected. But you got to go into the game as a coach knowing, listen, there's certain things that goes on. Okay. There's one thing we're not going to do. Okay. We're not going to disrespect ourselves. We're not going to disrespect our families. We're not going to disrespect the university. And so when I'm sitting over here and I'm looking like what happened, like the whole planting that flag, completely disrespectful. That's what it is. It really is. So I agree with what he said, because you should be a good loser, but also too, learn how to win. Okay. Be a gracious winner as well. And so I think that was completely disrespectful. And like I said, I put it on the coaches, brother. So
yeah, win with class, lose with class. That's the way my parents raised me. So, and also too, I thought it went a little bit too far. So, right, like you had that game, the Ohio State Michigan, which is one of the biggest rivalries in sports, and big game. Ohio State wins that game. They go to their conference championship. Now they lose that game. They're out of that, but they're still going to make the college football playoff. And later on in the night, I'm watching the UNC-NC State game. Same thing happens in that game. But the thing where I find funny is NC State wins that game. They win that game. Now they become bowl eligible. They have 2 6-6 teams. We're planting flags. You guys barely became bowl eligible. You're planting flags when you're 6-6. Come on. What are we talking about here, right? A season down the tube, 6-6. You beat your rival, but really you were 500 all season. Why are we planting flags here? What are you doing?
That's kind of like, to be honest with you, I think that's kind of like that new culture, and it's all about shining in front of everybody, and everybody's trying to have that moment to do things. Act like you've been there before, right? We heard it. Act like you've been there before. There's nothing wrong with celebrating. If you go plant your flag and, like you said, you're 6-6. Hey man, if I was a coach, I'm like, man, get on the bus, get in the locker room. Come on. Like we sitting over here celebrating 6-6. Where was all that energy? When we was losing those 6 games, I'd be pissed. I would absolutely be pissed as a coach. I really would. I do believe it's important that we are teaching these young men what it means to have respect for themselves and one another. And I put those things on coaches, man. I really do. That's so vital. When you're trying to teach them how to deal with life. And if you don't have a semblance of some type of decorum about yourself, pride, the way that you carry yourself, that is an issue. I have a big issue with that, man. I really do. And so some of these coaches come out there and they flamboyant with the way that they act and how they talk and how they, and so I have a problem with coaches that do that. I really do. Because being a head coach or coach in those organizations where you are very influential, people are watching you. Character really matters. It truly, truly matters. And that's part of the problem, Marcus. I think we've lost what character really means in trying to uphold ourselves to be justly in a way. And it's a shame because you start seeing a lot more of this disrespect. You see a lot more of it. And to me, it's just crazy because some people are just, they're comfortable in their hate and disdain for others. To me, I walk a different path, put it that way. I walk a different path. And so I understand when you're younger, you do things, right? As it tells us, when you're a child, you spoke like a child, you do like a child. When you got older, you put away childish things. And so I think it takes the men, the leaders and leaders on the team to get everything in order. And it's important that we teach young men and women how to be leaders, how to be held accountable, how to responsibility. Um, it's very important. It's very important. And we're losing a lot of respect. We're losing a lot of character. And it looks in a bad way. It's a bad way. G-Pick said it's classist, immature, and disrespectful. Absolutely. I agree with you 100, G-Pick. See, Andrew Brown said, JD, what you're saying is why I love Barry Sanders over Emmitt Smith. Smith had the celebrations while Sanders just talks about to the ref after the score. Yeah, well, I love not only Barry Sanders, he was a quiet guy anyway. I don't think anything, I didn't mind Smith celebrating. Like, celebrate your win. Celebrate it, right? But don't be disrespectful. Barry Sanders, I loved him because that sucker was just so talented. To me, he's the best back that ever played the game. Him, Jim Brown, and then you get into Emmitt and all those guys. Walter Payton, kind of for me, there's guys that's kind of in that top tier, and however you want to rate them. But there, you could tell guys that really carry themselves with some dignity and respect. And like I said before, as a coach, I'm getting into consulting. It's important, man, that we be an example for these young people, really. So.
Also too, you're seeing the local high school levels too, that this kind of stuff's being played out at the end of the games. And I've seen like multiple post-game celebrations when, people are clapping and are dapping hands up. And then afterwards, you're seeing opposing teams go to and these kids are bringing sledgehammers on the bus. You're the head coach. If your kids are bringing sledgehammers on the bus to be able to hammer down the flag in the middle of teams' fields and stuff. It's like, I think, like you said, it falls on the coach and the leadership within these high schools, colleges, especially high school, where coaches have a lot of control over these kids. You're seeing these kids bring a sledgehammer on the bus. Come on. What are we doing here?
Yeah, that's something you had to control. And to be honest with you, at a certain point, when are you taking responsibility for the guys that you have, right? Thanks, Greg Rose. Corinthians 13, absolutely. Rick Henderson was talking about the running back ED. No question about it. ED's right up there, top tier too, man. Rick, you said you went down there in Middle Tennessee, man. I know it's cold down there. Y'all right below us, man. So I know it's cold down that way. But I do believe it's vital. It's vital that we teach these things to this young generation on how to be, right? It's just like, hey, man, look, this is not a good look for us. We can't keep doing things like this. And we continue to act this way, then guess what? You're not going to be here, okay? You're not going to be here. I think it's one thing that I like about Nick Saban. Nick Saban was a good guy as far as like having a motivation, teaching guys how to be responsible, leadership and whatnot. Kind of goes into some of the things that he was saying. I thought he probably should have stayed another year, but maybe he's seen the writing on the wall, like how some things are going. Really was. And it's just like, it's a little different. It's a little different thing out here. But I tell you one thing that always translates: leadership and responsibility and character. It always translates. I don't care what era it is. So.
And also, and with that, it doesn't matter what field you go into, because like you always say, a lot of these guys, like some of these guys who are majoring in economics, going against NFL players, those guys major in economics, the stuff they learn from that coach, the leadership, the responsibility, those things you can carry on with whatever field you go into, whether it be on Sundays in the NFL or, being a marketing manager at a company or whatever it is.
Yeah. I mean, if you lack character and ethics, man, what do you expect? You don't let people handle your money that don't have any of these about them? I mean, come on, man. These things are important. I just think, man, it's just not one of the top tier things that we talk about. People trying to achieve, and that's crazy. It's crazy.
So, which you all say, you're saying this about people who tear down their own goalposts when they win against a bigger and better team. I think that's a little different, because that's mostly that's the fans who storm the field. That's kind of a collective, like when you upset a team, that's fans. What do you think about that? Do you think that? Because I think that's different, because that's usually home crowd. Like, let's say Ohio State's playing against Tennessee, Ohio State's number 1 and Tennessee's number 15 in the country. Tennessee wins that game. That's a home field kind of celebration. That's a little different than like going to an opposing team's house, right?
Well, I think it's kind of the same thing, Witchy. It's like when people do, when they win the NCAA championship, they turn over cars or burn them and all those different things, right? They tear things up. And it can be perceived as, vandalism and all those different things. And others like, oh man, it's celebration. But I'm like the whole goalpost. I think it's funny. Obviously, funny when you got to put that sucker back up. As long as they carry the thing back is what I'm like. Okay, who's gonna carry the thing back, right? If you carry it down the street, then you're like, hey man, let's carry the thing back. Cool. I'm good with that. Saban left because he felt NIL was ruining college football. Saban left because the NIL was making a level playing field. And he knew that other teams were going to be able to compete because if they had more money to offer these young people, then it'd make his coaching a little bit more difficult. So that's why I say I had an issue. Well, this is me personally. Some of the things that he had, the disagreement and argument with the NIL, I disagree with him on. Saban, especially when he was making the type of money he was making. So, barbershop, storming the field is different than planting your flag on someone else's field. Absolutely. Totally different thing. Your own celebration, if you want to kick over and light fireworks in your own yard or do it, fine. If you go in somebody else's house, you start doing it, it's a problem.
Yeah, it's a little more complicated when you do that.
Yeah.
Amda Brown, JD, that's almost exactly how I explained him leaving.
That's exactly what it was. That's exactly what happened, Amda Brown. That's exactly what happened. And I thought at a time, when you look at a guy that understands excellence, when you kind of needed the most to try to train other people on like how to be and how to take it and carry it. And he didn't know anything. I know the type of creed and things he had about him. Okay, his principles, and I thought it would be able to translate for these new guys. And so, but I think the NAL got into it in a way that he knew, hey, you ain't gonna be winning all these championships like you used to. So if money changes some things.
It's gonna come a little harder.
Hello, guys from Canada. What's going on?
All right. Okay, so JD, obviously it's game was Friday. We had the post game show, and we've got to deliberate and talk about it. And freshly after the game, some takes that we have, and then obviously a couple days later, because I know you rewatch the games when you do your grades and whatnot. Very curious. I've seen some people comment on some of our videos leading up to today, and everyone's very curious on how you're going to grade certain positions this week. Because some people think actually the grades this week might be lower than the grades that we had against Buffalo, the game that we actually lost. So I'm with them. I'm very curious to see what you have tonight for this grade show.
Okay.
Is there anything that stood out to you more so after rewatching it than what you initially from your initial watch?
There's some things we need to work on. I think we've gotten kind of lazy with some of our fundamentals of technique offensively. That's what I do believe. Do I believe that some of that had to do with some fatigue playing games? Sure, I do believe that. What they say, 3 games in 10 days? It's kind of crazy. And you just being worn out. You're just being worn out. So hopefully these guys were able to take in the rest that they needed, kind of let their heads clear a little bit. Same thing with coaches. Coaches also too, man. They're doing a lot of work, to try to prepare teams, for teams in that short amount of time. And I'm not talking about just regular teams. I mean, we talked about the Bills, obviously our biggest rival with the Raiders. Who was that we played before the Bills? I can't remember. Who was that?
Denver,
and so, you're talking about 2 rivalries, that's in your division. And then of course, somebody else in the AFC who has everything that they, You're going to throw the kitchen sink at you just to win. You know it's going to be a grueling schedule. It's grueling. I seen what Chris Jones was talking about, man. He's going to go to the NFLPA trying to talk about getting the second bye week.
He's 100% correct about that one, man.
Yes. And I think it's important that you set it up to, if you ever do teams like that again, then you have to make it to where, let's just say, maybe not get another bye week, but at least make sure there's teams play. Yes, exactly. To space it out to maybe 5 days or something, where almost like a little mini bye week. I think it's very important that you do that. So if you could control the scheduling like they can in the NFL, I think that right there should be noted.
Well, it's like, I mean, we had week 4, week 5 bye, and like they made these guys play 4 games in like 11 days or whatever. The crazy thing is 3 games in 11 days. Mm-hmm. Okay, if they knew that, then don't give them a week 4 bye week. Give them a week 9 or week 10 bye week. Make it at least closer to this ridiculous stretch. And on top of that, in a couple weeks, we got Christmas on a Wednesday, JD, and we play 4 days later. I mean, I think that might be the most egregious one. You play it on Wednesday, Christmas Day, and then you play 4 days later.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is, right?
Is it? I don't.
Let me make sure I'm right about it before we.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So we play on the 21st, and then we play 4 days later. So we play the 21st, and then we play 4 days later. After the 25th, then we don't play till January 5th. But the Chiefs-Texans game is 21st, and the Chiefs-Steelers is 4 days later. That is insane.
Yeah, that is crazy. Chris, wow, it said NFL needs another bye week for all of the teams. CFL has 3 bye weeks total. I think we should. I think we should at least have 2. I think 2 would be incredible, because you start seeing the teams that obviously was, that was impacted by this. The Lions, those guys was going down, man, like daggone flies. I'm like, gee, somebody else hurt on D-line. I'm like, I wondered if they had enough guys on D-line dressed out. They started standing up linebackers to play defensive line. So, I agree with that. I think, and here's the reality is, man, we're talking about player safety. So if you want to make that an important that you sit there and say NFL, then we got to make sure we play it and make sure we're protecting these players. Okay. So I get your money, I get TV and all those different things. How about you take care of your guys then? Okay. Say what you're going to say and do what you're going to say. How about that? So Mike Brent said, in that just like Sunday game followed by Thursday? It is.
Yeah. But I think it's because why it's a big deal is for the fact that we just played 3 games in 12 days. Then 2 weeks later, then you're playing games within 4 days of each other. I mean, no one else is having that stretch of like kind of, back to back kind of games. And I think that's where the 4-day thing comes into play when you're talking about that. Because I think in that same press conference, I think he mentioned that we have that coming up in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
So,
but now that's what I saw, man. We'll go through it a little bit, and I'll talk about it more about what I did see. But that's kind of really the gist of it. I think that we just fundamentally we weren't necessarily sound against this team, and it's hard when you playing this team. They came in. I told you, Antonio Brown them came in to win this game. They came in to win this game, and they knew.
Antonio Pierce, not Antonio Brown.
Pierce, I'm sorry.
not AB.
Please, Pierce. I'm sorry, Antonio Pierce. They came in to win the game, and I knew that. I knew that's not in his DNA. It's not in his makeup. To just lay down and say, hey, we the last team and everybody's counting us out. They want to use that. And they almost did it. They almost did it. So
yeah, credit to them. They had 10 rookies playing in that game, JD. 10 rookies started that game. 10 of their 22 dudes. That's pretty wild.
Jeez. Well, I'll tell you what, man. Them jokers, they was giving it to us. They was giving it to us.
Yep, for sure. All right, guys. Before we get to the grades, I want to make an announcement. Obviously, last week we did the giveaways, 2 giveaways, and this week we'll be doing 3 giveaways as we inch closer to the holiday. But I haven't gotten the for the winners. We got Marion Oliver and Sasha were the winners on last week's show. Haven't gotten their address yet, so definitely shoot that over to me. I know it's the Thanksgiving holidays, but shoot that over to us, chiefconcerns@yahoo.com, where you can just DM me on Twitter at Concerns Chief. But yeah, so this week though, just if you guys haven't gotten in on it yet, all you got to do is give a review with your on our Apple Podcast. It's in the link of our description, and then give us your YouTube handle, and you'll be entered into the contest or the giveaway contest that we have. We'll be doing 3 this Wednesday, so definitely get in on that. Sasha and Marion Oliver won 2 beautiful paintings by our friend Corey the Artist Chief, who actually Corey the Artist Chief, he was in the Hallmark movie, the Hallmark Chiefs movie. He's a cameo in that movie.
What? Who did?
Corey the Artist, the guy who gives us our beautiful paintings.
I did see that. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I did see that.
So it's pretty cool. I was like, hey, I know that guy. Did you? But by the way, did you watch that Hallmark movie? I don't know. I haven't gotten to watch it yet. I just saw the trailer and it was kind of, a typical Hallmark movie. A little cheesy, a little corny.
Well, that's what they are, though, man. We know that. We know that. So that's funny.
All right. Okay, but yeah, if Sasha or Marion see this, again, at chiefconcerns@yahoo.com or at Concerns Chief on Twitter, and give us your address so I can send over your goodies, and everybody else get your reviews in, and with your YouTube handle, and we'll get you in. We'll get you in the amazing contest for 3 giveaways on Wednesday. So 3 giveaways Wednesday. Be here. But all right, it's that time, JD. You ready, brother?
I'm ready, man.
Here we go.
Okay. So I'll start off with this, man. The team I saw out there on Friday did look like a team that had been playing for a long time. Looked like they had played 3 games in 10 days. Some players looked like they didn't really have the legs on them. And it looked like toward the end of the season, and you could visibly, it was wearing on them. I think that was part of the problem in our pass protection. And so not to give it as an excuse, but I do believe that we see that on both sides of football. And that was offensive line and defensive line, and some of our secondary too. But some of the fundamentals and technique that I was talking about, I was referencing actually Patrick Mahomes, PM15. And as I went through the film, just kind of watching some of his mechanics, some of his steps, he had happy feet, and I told you, like, it's what it's what you want to do with any quarterback, man. You get him off his grass, get him to run and move around. It's going to create problems. It's going to create errant throws, and so Patrick Mahomes is no different in that regard. The thing is, Patrick Mahomes can overcome those things in a game where some other ones can't, right? Particularly like a Kirk Cousins or somebody that you see at the end of the game that necessarily win. But I think Pat has that. He has it locked down where he's able to kind of, bring about him doing some great things. Okay, that's his superpower. But Pat has been a lot better than I've seen this past week, and I think once he became that, I seen him kind of stiff-legged on some balls, and also too some of the things he's running around, like the one he fumbled was running. I'm like, man, what is that? Like, just. So for me, Pat did a decent job, but Pat is much better than what he showed. I think that's part of what he was pissed off about. He wasn't necessarily pissed off on the guys, but I think it was a culmination of things, right? It was, maybe him not getting the ball like he needed to. Some balls sailed on him, obviously, that he could have probably hit. If guys are doing their job, hey, he hits worthy, right? And that's, Travis, of course, kind of missed him. One thing we just didn't do well, Marcus, we just didn't recognize what they were giving us defensively. We didn't communicate like we should have. Obviously, when I'm sitting over and I'm watching the film, it looks, communicate. Okay, here we go. Here's the adjustment. This is what it should be calling. And when I'm looking at everybody's faces, if they're turning to communicating, obviously I can't hear them. But when I'm looking at all 22, you usually see a head turn or somebody like immediately when you see somebody walk up in the box. Okay, that is the adjustment. That is the call now. Everybody should be making their calls at this moment. And what I'd seen was nobody was doing that. Nobody was recognizing it. So they had a great game plan against some of the things that we were doing. But Pat in itself, some of his errant throws that he did, he's a much better player than that. I actually gave Patrick Mahomes a C+.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on this, and we talked about this on the post-game show, whereas, like, if you were having a hard time protecting him, the play calling, which you'll get to the grades later on the play calling, but this is one thing I wanted to mention. It seemed like a lot of throws, and he threw 47 times on Sunday. That was the most he's had in a regular season game, JD, since 2022, where he threw 68 times against the Tennessee Titans. It's the most amount of passing attempts he's had in a regular season game. It ties the amount of passing attempts he had in the Super Bowl against the 49ers this past year. But regular season-wise, the last time he threw that much in a game was the 68 passing attempts against the Titans in 2022. So very, very interesting play calling, I'll say, especially regarding the situation. And I got to say this too, Patrick Graham, that DC for the Raiders, he does something against Pat. Yeah, you can look at last year against the Chiefs, the Christmas Day game. Obviously, Patrick Graham was on the staff, but going back to his Giants days when we played against Patrick Graham, we had that Monday night game against him. It was an ugly game. We won by 3, but that game, Mahomes 29 of 48, 275, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 2 sacks in that game. So, like, obviously, Patrick Graham does something where we can't figure it out offensively. I don't know, but kudos to Patrick Graham. I mean, he knows how to play against our guy.
Yeah, and the reality is, man, when you play a guy, enough times, you kind of know what it is that they do, what their strength, what their weaknesses are, because you got a lot of film on it. And so they have a whole array of things that they can look at. How you're going to attack the Chiefs. And then what you do is you charge your guys to go ahead and execute what you ask them to do. And the D-line did a good job of that. They knew, okay, this is where we can attack them. And, of course, we've seen some spiking by the defensive end, some twists, some just flat out just beating us at the line of scrimmage. But what they also understood is we're not going to let Patrick Mahomes get on the outside where he actually take off running with his legs. Keep him inside the box. If he does go up the middle, then we got some big guys that was pushing the ball over. So, Mike Brennan, 0 turnovers by Pat. I could care less about turnovers. I'm looking for touchdowns that he missed and big plays like that, Mike. So, Pat, like everybody else, has a job to do. And his job is to get the ball in the hands of the playmakers. And sometimes he just missed it. There was times that there were some balls in the dirt. There's times he was just moving around when he didn't need to. And so like I said, I'll say this, and I always say this. Pat has got to make sure he puts us in a good position with the plays that's being called to him. Now, obviously, maybe every call wasn't the best of calls, but I do expect Pat to have a much better game than what he had. Like I said, we should have beat this team by at least 2 touchdowns, at least. If we executing the way we're supposed to, shoot, hey, who's to say what we'll be able to do? So.
Yeah, it comes down to the red zone execution, man, which we say, we've been saying for a long time since we've been doing the show. When you can't convert in the red zone, you're gonna allow teams who shouldn't be in the game with us at all to hang around. You keep getting 3. That team's gonna score a touchdown one of these times where you get 2 trips down there and you get 6. They're gonna score a touchdown and they're in the game. They're up 1 just like that. And so it's all about the converting in the red zone. It's a big part of it.
Absolutely. And let me say this. There were some really great throws by Pat. Some really great throws on the money from him. Guys dropped it. So I'm not taking away. Pat did some really nice things. He did some really nice things out there. So that's why sometimes when I'm sitting there looking at it, I'm like, man, what's the you know, how's everybody corresponding to where he's playing and what he's doing? So life just right. Everybody's talking about the line. Okay. So we understand the line has a job to do. Okay. There's some things that Pat could do to help out the line as well. But also too, the coaches can help out the line. We talked about with running the football. If I'm going through him, I'm talking about his fundamentals. I'm talking about his technique. I'm talking about his feet. I'm talking about the tempo where he's throwing the football. Some of the throws that he was making, some were just off. Some were just, he's like up here trying to do things, man, and it's like indecisiveness. But like I said, all that plays into it. Pat is a much better quarterback than that. Okay, the C plus goes into maybe the lack of things that I saw that he didn't actually do. Where he could have hit? Let's say he hit a couple more of those big shots, man. That might be a B plus. A B for sure. But I'm going to I'm looking at everything that he's doing. Okay, I'm grading everything, and so I'll grade the line. I'll have a grade for the line too. But also too, there's some things, like I said, some happy feet trying to get out here, do some things, and they weren't going to let it happen. But like you said, the defense made sure that there were certain things they weren't going to let Pat beat you on. They weren't. And so the one that he dropped all the way back and fumbled and stuff, I'm like, man, what are we running around like that? It was sometimes Pat was just running around. I'm like, Pat, you ain't got to do that. You ain't got to do it. So.
Yeah, I will say the play where he evaded the sack and got out of that, made that amazing throw to D-Hop. And D-Hop was really pissed off that he dropped that pass, but that was probably one of the highlights of the game, and it was an incomplete pass. But nonetheless, yeah, I agree. C+, and I think a lot of people here agree it wasn't Pat's best game by any means. So C+, yeah.
Not at all. Shoot, especially throw the ball that many times. Shoot.
Yeah, and I think I might have said 47 earlier. It was 46 pass attempts. He had 46 pass attempts in the Super Bowl, but that's the most any regular season game he's had since the 68 in 2022 against the Tennessee Titans. So a lot of passing attempts. And again, that Tennessee Titans game we're talking about, that was another nail biter. We almost lost that game. So yeah, it's kind of a correlation when you throw a lot and you don't really have much of a balance. You get in these close games. No coincidence there.
No. So,
all right. So now we're gonna get to the running game with our guy Isaiah Pacheco, who's back in the building, baby.
Isaiah Pacheco's back in the building, man, and he looked good. Let me say this: I'm so happy he's back. He brings that part of that juice. Everybody was talking about how the monotony looked like the Chiefs were just playing with, didn't really have a lot of excitement and stuff like this. This is part of what Isaiah Pacheco ignites a little bit of some of that fire. He's that spark plug, or that spark, really, to get everybody kind of going and juiced up. I think he had a pretty decent game. He probably needed to do a better job blocking for him. Same for Kareem Hunt as well. There were some plays I think Kareem probably should have made some extra yards in the hole and didn't quite do it. So I think the running backs did a pretty good job. I think they did a good job in recognizing as well the chipping when they needed to help and then getting out. I think I seen one that Pacheco probably should have waited a little bit. The linebacker kind of green dogged on one, and I think he had him, but he went ahead and went out in the flat. And I think it's like some of those times that you got to get once you get back playing, right? It's like, okay, stay in this one right here. Check, release. And so, that's me just kind of recognize like, okay, maybe that's where offensively where we recognize the defense is identifier who it is that you have. So, but the running backs, Pacheco looked good. Like I said, Kareem Hunt ain't really get a whole lot of carries. Pacheco had 7 carries for 44 yards, 6.3. Kareem Hunt had 7 for 15, 2.1. Okay. And then Pat had 2 for 4. Right. So very underwhelming in the run game, which we should have did a much better job at. If we are paying attention to detail, we should have been round up and down these jokers all day, Marcus. Okay? Should have been. We should have been. And so I think, man, with our running backs, which we should have gave them a little bit more work, especially in the red zone. Definitely should have gave them more work in the red zone. We just didn't. But I will say this, actually listening to Andy and going a deep dive, looking at the game and whatnot. Andy was in a tight spot, man. Burt kind of running the football. He didn't quite lean on it because he said it wasn't working. So I remember he said in his press conference, I'm like, man, let me go check this out. Like, what was going on? Was it not working? Or was it that we just didn't want to give the ball to him? Did we decide to do something more against them scheme-wise against their defense as opposed to running the football? And so when I started looking at it, Andy was right. There's some things we were just missing. It just wasn't working. And if you look at it, on film, on tape, you should see the blocking scheme. I mean, you look at the count up, right? Identifiers. It's the way it should go. And we was getting beat. If you had 4 guys doing it right and 1 guy let it go. That was the guy making the play. That's the frustrating part. The frustrating part is that if everybody's not in sync, everybody's not on the same page, then it's going to look like that. So I don't fault Andy for, saying, hey, man, it maybe the running wasn't running the way we thought. But I do believe there should have been spots that they should have dictated that they run the football, and they didn't. But with that, I'm going to give our running backs, I'm going to give them, those guys, I'm going to give them a B-. Running backs got a B-. And we should have called more plays for those guys. I like Pop because he's given a vision. And what I seen in the game was a guy from the first time he got to the Chiefs to where he is right now, he looks like he's a veteran. I said, wow, Pop. I said, that's a hell of a cut. He's seeing it. I can tell he's seeing it. And it's a feel. And he's got it. I think, to be honest with you, these past few weeks, we've been wearing Kareem Hunt out. We've been wearing him out, man. We've been wearing him out. And that man needs a good, much needed rest. And it showed this past week. So, Kareem Hunt's a lot better than what he was. But, yeah, we wore a Joker out, man. Not saying he couldn't handle it, because he is. He's handled it. But now, thank God Pop is back. Okay? So, here we go.
Pop looked a little lighter, too. I know he came to the season lighter than he had been, but he looked a lot. I mean, when just seeing him, he just looked like he looked lighter on his feet and quicker on his feet back on Sunday. Did you notice that too, or Friday? Did you notice that?
Man, we just ain't seen him in a while.
That's true. We're a thick Kareem Hunt too.
Joe been going to Gates Barbecue. You got a thick one back there, man. So yeah, no, it's it did look light. I think it did look light. And I think he's still testing that leg out. I heard him in a press conference. I was just like, and I told you, sometimes you get in practice to see where you're at, but the game is something totally different. You get in the game, and he's like, okay, now I'm churning. Now I'm getting back to where he is. He's going to be better next week, too. Barbershop question. Do you think the leaders on offense want to run the ball, Andy, Mahomes, and Travis? No, not as much. I don't. To be honest with you, I think they'll do whatever it takes to win. I think it's where they are, Barbershop. I think they're okay with it, whatever it takes to win. And so for them, they want the ball in their hands, of course, because they know they can help dictate the game for that victory. And so if they need to run the ball, they'll say it. We've heard them say that. Patrick, hey, run the football. So, yeah, absolutely. I think they will. Andre said, Pop said he had a lot of anger built up. Oh, yeah. That Joker's ready to explode. He's ready to get out there. That Joker looked good, man. He looked good. So, good to have him back.
Yeah, Pop looked quick, but we've been watching Hunt. It's true. Sure, they're very, very different type of runners. But you're right. But you're right, though, Jay. I remember when we first started the show, when we were, Pop was, he just didn't have that vision, man. It was a lot of running at the backs of the guys up front, and he's from what you said from day one to now, yeah, it's crazy how he's a vet now back there.
Yeah. So I'm the Brown said, bingo, the barbershop, something I'd like to see more of his Pat call on Audible when a terrible play is called. Yeah, possibly. I'm sure Pat could get at it, whatever, and I'm sure he has the leeway to do it if he sees it. So I'm sure he still has like certain things he can run in his head. We've seen him change plays, particularly to the run game. Possibly, obviously if it's an RPO that he's looking at, I think it's what you have to do when you come up. Make sure it's an RPO to give him that option though. So,
yeah, I know Andy's playbook's been a topic. A lot of people have been dogging it in our videos, but Andy's playbook's supposed to be expansive, but we still run that stupid inside pitch play in the red zone that hasn't worked in 4 years. When other teams do it, it works for them, but for us, it's just like no one's biting for it anymore.
Yeah, there's a couple other things I like to go just straight downhill. I do like when we go into like the diamond set in the back, the wing and stuff like that. I do like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a deadly formation for us because it gives our tight ends and running backs back there a running start to go see your man who you're blocking. I love that play.
Yeah,
I think it's a wonderful play. JD, do you think the players had some closed door meetings? I don't know. I don't think so. Not yet, Kevin. You don't have a closed door meeting unless you lose about 2 or 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you're not happy with it. I'm sure guys are still talking. Is that a closed door meeting? Maybe in the group? Sure. I think maybe group guys are, kind of having a conversation amongst themselves, where their standard is and being better. So, but these guys are not panicking, man. I think these guys are just a little tired, too. So,
yeah. And hopefully this long break will do them some good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we're going to get to our wide receiver room. Our guy D-Hop, who said, I think someone commented on it earlier. He after the game, he tweeted that he's going to be checking into therapy for dropping that pass. That's what D-Hop tweeted after the game.
That's so uncharacteristic of him, to drop something like that. The hard ones you make look easy. You know what I mean? Him dropping it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I couldn't believe it either. I was like, is that D-Hop? So, but hey, man, I'd excuse a D-Hop drop more any day of the week. I know he's good for it.
Yeah, he looked more like Dustin Hopkins on that play than DeAndre Hopkins.
So, combination of the things that we saw, the Hop, man, he looked good. There was times he was open. Pat missed him in the one. He dropped the pass. Xavier Worthy had 5 catches, 54 yards. He did a pretty decent job. That deep one, Pat gets just a little bit more time, just a little bit of smidge. That's 6. He's running on down into the corner. So, where my banner used to be up. Juju caught one pass. Other than that, Watson caught one. Another deep ball off his hands. You probably should have caught that one too. I was looking at the routes. Guys are open. Some guys are open. And Pat didn't see them. So I think the guys did a decent job. Ooh. This one's kind of tough for me. I was going to grade the wide receivers, man. I got 2 over here. C+ and B- is where I'm at. I'm going to give him a B-. I'm going to give him a B-. It was the kind of the drops. Is it something that they didn't necessarily do route-wise? I think they did a great job. I see Worthy maybe sometimes could get open with his technique, sure. So yeah, I had to give him a B minus, B minus, B minus. I'm giving B minus, B minus. Yeah.
Are you obviously we had time to digest this game a little bit, and it just seems like in the last few weeks we haven't really seen, like someone mentioned jet sweeps earlier. We haven't really seen McCole Hardman at all, and I just feel like he gives us a little bit more, like just a little bit of a little variety in the offense. Just having him in there because he's the jet sweep guy. He can also do a lot of things in the passing game too, quick screens, little bubble screens. I feel like we only had 4 receivers catch a ball on Friday, and I just feel like him not being utilized. I feel like he just be in there, giving us a little bit of a different look than what we have been getting. I think that's a huge loss that we're not using that.
Oh yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Got to utilize him, even if it's like like the wide receiver screen, the jet sweep, whatever it may be. You got to give him the ball. You have to. And so for us to have, like you said, 46 passes, and really, McCole didn't catch not one of them, be a part of it, I think it's a missed opportunity because he is definitely a weapon and we ought to be able to utilize him every time he's out there on the football field, at least 3 times. I would think McCole Hardman has to at least get 3 looks, at least, for the game. But sometimes, man, it's well, the game works, I guess. If he's open, he's open. If he's in and we don't run it or we're not looking for him, then so be it. So I'm not even sure what his snap count was, Marcus. So
I don't think he got in on offense. I saw him a few times on offense, and he's behind the coaching staff with his helmet off. So I think he's just a special teams guy now. I mean, that's what we're relegating to, just special teams, not even like being ready to go on offense. I think that's kind of interesting, right?
Yeah. No, when he comes in, and utilize him, man, it looks great. Heck, we put him in the backfield, and he looked incredible. We've had him in the backfield. Going downhill, man, he was breaking tackles. Looked good.
Yeah, we had him at the Wildcat QB a couple weeks ago, and he just took a direct snap.
Yeah.
Okay, he had 8 snaps on Friday.
Jeez. Are you kidding?
Worthy 42, Watson 32, Juju 40, Hopkins 42, and McCole 8.
That's not good enough. It's not good enough.
Are you seeing residual hamstring impact with Juju? Because Juju doesn't look explosive, man. I mean, I don't know if there's not getting the ball, but he just doesn't. Something looks off from that Saints game where we saw him dominate.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not getting the ball a lot, we're giving Hopkins those targets. It just doesn't seem like we're not utilizing Juju, or he just doesn't. Is he not? I mean, I don't know. What have you seen from his route running, just him in general?
Yeah, we're just not utilizing him. We're not giving him too many of the looks. Some of the things that we should be doing with Juju, probably some of the quick passes, some of the slants, out routes, getting the ball to him. He got the one, got up the sideline. Juju's, he's a good sized guy. Throw the ball to him. He got good hands. He runs good routes. He knows how to get open. I'd like to see him, get the ball more too. No doubt about it. So appreciate it so much, Del Monte Green Beans, my brother. Appreciate it. I say McCole stay low key, tactical purposes. Possibly, look, you only got one football to go around with everybody. That's the problem. That's the issue, and it's hard to kind of pick and choose, get guys in. But if we know like jet sweeps and wide receiver screens, we're gonna get the ball to you 17 if we need to. Throw the ball to him. Is that a tactic? I don't know. Possibly. So I'm not in their heads as far as like some of the calls they make. Sometimes I'm like, what are we doing? And I'm sitting over here looking at how, the flow of the game is going. So I'm not sure. Rust Android. I'm just saying maybe Rustus Android. Appreciate it. Appreciate it so much.
Appreciate it.
This is going to sound snarky, but in love, are you still going to stick with Moore and Taylor as though they can't cut it and we are the wrong ones for wanting something better? Am I going to stick with Moore and Taylor as though they can't cut it and we are the wrong ones for wanting something better?
Now, are you referring to, I just want a clarification. Do you mean, are you talking about Sky Moore or are you talking about Wanye Morris? Because you said Taylor,
No,
with tackles.
Okay. Yeah.
Just I want to clarify that one, Rustus. Are you talking about Wanya Moore? Or are you talking about Sky Moore with the Moore comment there?
And really,
Yeah, Sky.
Sky. So my thing with Sky got hurt. We understood it. Sky was getting snaps because he was somebody who was good on, blocking and whatnot. And I said, coaches will find out what a guy's worth is. Okay. And Andy and those guys kept him around for a reason. So who am I to say if that's the case, hey, they wrong too. But at least they was willing to give him the chance and opportunity to be right. And I still think Sky's he's a talented guy. I want to put him out here like he was supposed to be the star, wide receiver 1 or 2 or 3. I'm saying Sky was able to contribute, where he was able to contribute. That's the way I look at it. Same thing with Taylor. Taylor was out there making $22 million a year. You expect something out of Taylor for $22 million a year. And at times he plays like it's $22 million. And at times it's, it's like, okay, you question some of those things. And to be honest with you, when you make these decisions business-wise for a team, how does it work out for you, right? Juwan Taylor's been doing a decent job. Obviously, he's been having problems with lining up, some of the penalties and holding and all that this past year. But there has been times he has played really well. But shoot, we could be wrong on anybody, any player. To be honest with you, you still want to see what a guy can do. If you have him here, going back to Sky Moore, you want to try to utilize him as much as you possibly can, okay, to get as much as you possibly can out of a guy like that. That goes into like we talking about McCole Hardman. Sure, McCole Hardman is a guy that I think should be getting more looks. Some people like McCole, some don't. Some think, hey, well, the way they like, the looks he's getting, they're fine with. Me, myself, I don't make those decisions. I know talent. And I know guys come out. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But I want one of those that I was just going to sell Sky Moore out because of some of his drops, and I've seen other guys dropping the stuff. So I hope that answers your question. Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, brother. Todd, toll free. Go get Leviticus Chenault Beach. He's available. I was a huge fan of him coming out of college. And honestly, I think he would be a great kind of versatile guy. He can play running back, he can play receiver. Talk about big boys, JD. He's built 6'1", 225. He can play in the backfield, and you can put him all over the place. Really, I would say he's like a Cordarrelle Patterson type of guy. You can kind of utilize him a little all over the place. I know JD's not the biggest Cordarrelle Patterson fan for our offense, but Leviticus Chenault kind of reminds me of that because you can kind of put him in the backfield, you can put him at receiver. I'm a huge fan. I wouldn't mind it. I know the Seahawks just waived him, so that wouldn't be a bad move. But again, we're bringing in guys week 13. I mean, I don't know. I just don't see it.
We got enough here. What we need.
And we're barely using what we have here. So
yeah, we got more than enough. It goes into it. Kevin Mars, appreciate you, brother. So life just right. Thanks for the show, guys. Dinner time, man. Have a good meal. And that's what Timmy G is talking about. We have some serious speed at wide receiver. Worthy, Hopkins, Hardman, Juju, Watson, and with Hollywood coming back. And we are lucky. We got a stacked book, man. It's going to look different when we get into the playoffs. We're going to have another one of those weeks off. We're going to get us a bye week. Number one seed. Our guys are going to be rocking. They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine.
And the Hollywood thing, I can't wait to see Hollywood in this offense. All right. Yeah. So now we get to tight ends, JD. Our favorite group on this show.
Yes, sir. Tight ends. Did you say a little shout out, man? Gonzalez gave me about the turkey. I said, man, dude. He was like, yo, JD, I think it's a tremendous honor. I'm going to go ahead and name you the turkey. Really? I said, man, I hope as long as they save him, that's all that matters. He's like, yeah, this is the guy that pardoned. I said, man, I appreciate it. I took it as a tremendous honor, my brother.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I was at the gym and my mom called me. She was like, where are you right now? Are you watching the pregame show? I was like, no, I'm at the gym. She goes, you need it. You need to go home and clip this Tony just talked about JD on the show. I'm like, what? Oh, no way. Then I saw Amazon Prime posted on their Twitter account. And then, I thought that was awesome. Elvis and Dunn.
Yeah. Now he called me and left me a message. I was like, Turkey, what? Like, what's happening? Of course, she saw it. I was like, I got it. Nah, they ended up calling me back and stuff. That was cool. That was cool. Good respect on it. So tight ends, man, that's what we do. That's my brother right there. 100%, 100 grand. So tight ends, man. Travis Kelce, 7 catches, 68 yards. Noah Gray, 4 catches, 58 yards. These guys keep getting better week in and week out. Noah Gray, Travis Kelce, we understand for us to move the chains, move the balls, we got to get the ball in their hands, in our tight ends. And I love how we're utilizing them. And that might be part of the reason that we don't see a McCall Harmon as much, right? And so we're starting to use a lot more 2 tight end sets. Why? Because they can do those things. Travis came in, did a great job catching the football. He had that one drop, which is kind of weird to me. I was just like, man, what's going on? I just, I wasn't for sure what was happening. But they did a pretty decent job. Now, the blocking aspect, he missed a couple of times. Communication-wise, I've seen a couple, that he didn't block the right guy. Just kind of missed him. So could it be fatigue? Sure. Mentally, fatigue? Absolutely. But we got to do a much better job of that. Got to do a much better job. So with our tight ends, for what they gave, I gave them a B-.
I agree. I will say more of a funny topic. Travis Kelce's red and yellow J11 cleats. Oh my God, those things, those are A+, JD. As soon as when I saw wear those, I was like, oh man, I was like, I need to see if they have those go well with my flag football team's uniform. So I looked them up online. Those are a custom made deal right there, JD. You can't find those things anywhere. Those are pretty, man.
Clean. I was like, ooh, wee, look at them jokers right there. So Tony G said JD was the best blocking tight end ever.
Damn right, baby.
Hey, shoot.
It wasn't
Tell
lying.
you what, man, I used to hear it all the time from defensive coordinators. I would see them after the game or defensive line coach, and they would come see me and say, hey, man, I just enjoy your game, Dunn. Just really enjoy it. And so I took it with pride. I think a lot of people recognize it around the league. And so that's one thing I appreciated. Defenses knew what I did, and they knew what I gave to the game. And so when you hear other defenders talking about it that played against me, they were like, yeah, JD was that dude. And I'd fold a joker up quick, put my hands on him. So took a lot of pride in what I did. And I catch a rock too, sometimes. So yeah. TG said it on his, matter of fact, Hall of Fame speech too, man. That JD is as good as I was catching football. JD was just as good in blocking too. The best in the business.
That dynamic duo, man. One of a kind, that dynamic duo between you two.
Mm-hmm. So
Demonte green beans. Come on now, JD. Did you cook something yourself? I don't know these.
Did I cook something myself? What do you mean? I don't know what you Demonte green beans. Are you talking about for Thanksgiving? Oh, I did. Yeah, definitely cook. That's what I do, baby. I get out there and then cook some things up. So Demonte green beans is funny. Good dude. Appreciate you, Demonte green beans, my brother. Appreciate you.
Appreciate the contribution, brother. I was wondering about this. Alna Brown asked, did you notice Anthony Ferkser was in at blocking tight end number 85? What did you think about Ferkser just on a few plays he was in?
You know what?
Did he reach JD level status or?
hey, take it easy, Mark. He came in and gave something. So, but it was almost unnoticeable. I was just like, who's this? I'm like, oh, okay. So, this guy is going to grow, get into some things. We'll see.
He's bounced around the league, man. Holy crap. I thought he was like younger than he is. So comes in the league in 2017, plays for the Jets, comes to play for the Chiefs in 2017 on the practice squad, goes to the Titans from 2018 to 2021, then goes to Atlanta in 2022, goes to New England in 2023, goes to Detroit at the end of 2023, goes to the Jets to start the 2024 season now, and now he's on the Chiefs. Man.
Yeah.
When people talk about journeyman, that's a journeyman right there.
Yeah, man. Yes. Yeah. Martin obviously, I bet Ray Lewis remembers JD. Yeah, Ray used to talk about me.
Bart Scott too.
Bart Scott, yeah. He said, man, I knew they was going to the heavy lifter. Dunn was a heavy lifter. The Ray voice. Andre said, JD, I told Darren they need to bring y'all back. Come back, bring me back to come watch, babe. That's what's going to happen, too. Nah, it's all good. So,
Yeah.
made JD blush.
What do you make about Kelsey? I know a lot of people have been making a big to do about his drops. Just kind of we're seeing that kind of more this year than we have been in recent years. What do you think that? I mean, do you think it's a big deal at all? 'Cause I know some people are trying to blow that proportion.
I think it's about the same. I ain't see no change. Shoot. Yeah. I didn't even think he's had the drops. I think the one he thought that the play was over, or didn't stop or something. It was like a penalty. So, no, I don't think he's had like some drops like that though.
Yeah. It's Justin Hutchins. We're about to get to the offensive line. So,
offensive line, man, we're gonna keep this thing rolling.
Jay's about to talk about it, brother. All right. So the offensive line, I thought this picture, JD, for 5 sacks, I thought this pretty much illustrates what we're dealing with the offensive line. I mean, if any picture tells you a million words, this picture right here tells you a million words about how the offensive line, how things are going right now with the back-to-back weeks of 5 sacks on Pat.
Yeah. So let me say this. Their D-line came in and they gave us fits, and they kicked our tail. I had to say maybe this was probably one of the worst games I've seen the offensive line play this year. And so I'm not going to sugarcoat it at all, but we had to do a much better job. And even coming off the football, like I was saying before, what was killing us was us not recognizing where guys were and making the adjustments. And so obviously I don't know the play, but I know zone. I know, how you do, gap scheme, man, and whatnot, how you make these calls. It's not going to be that much of a difference. It's always adjustments with us at the offensive line. It really is. And it's got to be on a run. And you got to trust guys making calls, because it's got to be like this almost on the snap. And you got to, if you see somebody taking your guy, you never pass up color. You just go to the next guy. That's how it's got to be adjustment, man. Offensive lineman, people don't understand this, but it's a hard job. It's a hard, tough job. Especially moving up to the second level. You got safeties and all that coming out on you. But there's a lot of communication there. There's a lot of communication. And you got to get it right. And everybody's got to be on the same accord. They got to hear what other guys are saying beside them so they can make an adjustment or not. If you're not recognizing somebody coming down in the box, then you mess up the count. You miss the guys that you got to go up and make an adjustment to. And that's tough. You're expecting the guy to be here and he's not in your hip pocket like you expect. That's hard. And it started out the very first play of the game. Wanya gets beat right across his face. Now, look, he had a guy on the inside. That's tough. When you're sitting over here, you got to really kind of a 4-eye, and you're trying to reach him. Well, you got to step with power. Wanya Morris has been playing hurt. He has been playing hurt, and it shows. Why do I say that? I could tell in his feet. I could tell in his strike. I could tell in his base. I could tell in his step. I could tell in his fundamentals that sometimes it's just no power there. And you could throw your hands up all you want to try to fight and whatnot, but if you don't have any legs coming with no power, that's where all your power comes. It comes from your legs and your core, and your hips. You got to have that. And if you're not coming with speed and power and quickness from that part where you generate that, the power, then you're not going to have anything on it. You're not going to have anything on it. It's going to be a shell of what you actually can do out there. And I think, to be honest with you, Wanya had to play that position because he had to play that position. We didn't have anybody else at the time, Marcus. We haven't. Who else is going to play left tackle? We're asking Joe Tooney to come out there, which is a hard task for Joe, especially against Crosby and those other guys. Shoot, Joe was still getting pushed back. Okay. I mean, it's you're asking a tough task of Joe. Thank God Joe is the hell of a player that he is. You know, he's giving us something. He's keeping them out, Pat. But, you know, any guy's going to have a hard time, especially against these rushers. So I know they talked about Joe maybe, you know, could be an option going out there because DJ Humphrey may not necessarily be ready. He may not be ready. This is what we was talking about. We want to throw DJ Humphries out there and say he's ready, but he may not necessarily be ready physically for an entire game. So you got to make these adjustments. That's what you have to compromise. Okay. Do you compromise a guy's knee who may not necessarily be all the way together to come out there and play? I know he wants to. His mind is saying, I want to go out there and play. His heart's saying, I want to go out there and play because he's a warrior. That's his makeup. But physically, his knee might be like, hey, man, we might still be a couple weeks away. Just, you know, that's how it is. So we'll just have to see. We'll see what that's going to be. Time for his Morris dead legs. Yeah, it's just oh, man. And I'm a Wanya Morris fan. Okay, man. The man's been battling some injuries. I could just tell, and he just need to get in the weight room, get strong, get himself right, get right. And it's hard to do when you don't have that time to do it. You don't because you're playing. You got to play. We need you to play, Wanya. That's what happens. So that's the issue. That's the issue. But not only Wanya. Like I said, the recognition for online wasn't necessarily doing that great either. Sometimes we straight-legged in blocking, and I've seen that with Jawan. But they know all they need to do, man. They know they all need to do. They went against linebackers, strong safeties, running. I mean, we seen it all. Myriad of defenses running against us. We didn't do a good enough job in the run game for Andy to say, hey, we need to run the ball a little bit more. Andy sitting there saying, man, they smacking us in the backfield. They coming off blocks and making tackles. This ain't the way it's supposed to look. So after watching the film, I was like, wow, okay, Andy, I see it. But sometimes you gotta lean on it. You gotta lean on it. So Greg Rose said Nate reported he's playing hurt. I mean, shoot, I've known that for the past few weeks. We've been talking about that. I'm like, why are you still hurt? You just hope he's just gonna make a breakthrough and get better, man. But you're putting a Band-Aid on the flesh wound, baby. That's what you're doing. That's tough. Sucker's still gonna keep bleeding. So till you have a chance to let that thing heal like you needed to, that's what you're dealing with. I know how that feels. So
what do you make of, I know you kind of alluded to it, but for those of you, Andy Reid was talking about DJ Humphries coming playing this weekend potentially. His quote on the whole thing was, I want to hear you kind of weave through the coach speak, JD, but this is a quote from Andy Reid. I don't think that's probably fair to DJ right now, just him coming off this offseason. So I think we just play it by ear as we go. If he feels okay, then we give him an opportunity. If he's not where he needs to be, then we don't. So we'll just see how it goes. Reid later then said Tooney would remain at guard, but the veteran is an option at left tackle if Humphries is not ready. Do you just think they're pretty much what it is verbatim? Is just going to see how it is, or do you think they are going to go with him?
No, that's what it is. Still got to see. Still have to see. He's got to be right. He's got to be right. Like I said before, I know his mind's in it, his heart's in it. Physically, he's got to be able to do it. He's got to be able to, make the blocks. He's going to be able to move. And I guarantee defenses are going to test every bit of it out. They're going to test it. Shoot, especially get these charges too. Woo! You best believe it. So there's going to take some time to see what it's all about, man. But worst comes to worst, if they need to move Joe out, fine. So be it. There's some tough choices right now, Marcus. Tough choices, man. It's not easy. Not easy. So that short week to practice, he's a vet. Ain't gonna take him too long. He'll it's like riding a bike. You get a couple of things in and hey, come hard and say you just want to see what he's about. He's gonna go and get some guys in practice to see exactly what it is. So
seeing Del Monte Green Beans gave us a contribution. Appreciate you, brother. I remember when Will Shields was wearing that Ravens ass out back in the day.
Oh yeah. Shoot, Will Seal, Willie Rowe, Brian
yeah.
Waters. I mean,
T.
you name
Rich, you.
it. T. Rich, you name it. Yeah. We knew we going into a battle. We knew it was going to be a brawl. We knew that. But our guys, man, I know our guys is ready. There ain't no question about it. Shoot, ain't no question like, hey, man, y'all. All you do look at them jokers' faces. You already knew it was going to get handled. No question.
Yeah.
Barbershop, we have a two-headed monster in the backfield. Let's run the ball and commit to it. Helps the entire offense. I agree. I do agree. And the thing is, the O-line's got to help out to make that decision for it to change for the coach to say, hey, man, coach, we can run the football. There was times I think they tried to run the ball, but popped off for one. It's like, okay, maybe give him a little bit more. But I think he wasn't really satisfied at some of the things they did. The first half, man, we just couldn't get some things going in the run game like we should have. We just, like I said, part of it was just a recognition, and I think maybe it was communication too about what it is that we wanted to do. So much better job O-line. So I'm going to give a O-line, man. I'm going to give him a C-. C-. 5 sacks. Holding the ball in the hand, I don't think we was holding the ball in the hand, but Wanye just got beat. He was just getting beat. And it was hard. It was pathetic. Cakes and Wigman. But it was hard. It was tough. I won't give these guys a D+. I don't think, for Joe to move over to do what he did and bump the grade back up, okay, shoot, do what you have to do. But also, too, I think it went into what are we playing? How are we doing it? How are we playing it? What's the game plan? What is the scheme? How can we not run the football more? How can we not run into the pass rushers? You got a thinner guy out there. Run to him. Run at him. That's what you do. Deal with it then. Okay? So a skinnier dude over there, man, run straight at him. That's what I do with Micah Parsons. Run at that joker. Run at him. Don't let it hit you on the blind side. Wanye Morris is back there trying to hold on for dear life. Give him a little bit more help if that's the case. Okay? You could chip and move out. You could do those things. So I just think we didn't do such a good job in doing that. And those guys need to do a much better job protecting than they did. So that's what I put on. Yeah.
Del Monte Green Beans, appreciate you, brother, with another contribution there. They put an 18th parallel ass whooping on Ray. That dude was crying. All right, now we're going to get to the other side of the ball, other side of the trenches, our defensive line, JD.
D-line. You know what? I think D-line came out there, and I think they did a decent job against the run in the run game. At times toward the end, second half, we started giving up a little bit too much, to the other running back. It was Sincere McCormick. He came in, gave him a little spark. But Chris Jones came out, he was making some heyday. Did it have to do with number 90, Mr. Charles Omenihu coming back? That's the question. Is that what it is? And so I think Omenihu came back, made the impact like he should have. And so Omenihu's not 100%. And I think he'll get there. But he had to test it out, see exactly where he is. Okay. This was a good test for him. They a stout old line. Them suckers are strong. Shoot, I seen a man have who they throw out the club. They threw somebody out the club. I think it was Turk or somebody. I was like, that God. I was like, geez. I mean, mauled. Like, they just throwing out. Some strong jokers over there, man. Apparently they didn't get fed before the game. So,
yes, apparently. I know beginning half of the season we were really high on Turk. I haven't really heard much from Sir Gordon since there was all that praise about him after the first 5 weeks of the season. What are you seeing from him? It seems like we kind of haven't heard anything from the other D tackle.
I don't know, man. I don't know. After a while, we know Turk is more undersized defensive tackle. And so the double teams and whatnot, shoot, could be worrying on him. And so I'm not sure. But, and he'll have flashes. There's flashes you'll see. There's flashes you'll see. But, Charles Menahoop right here, good to see 90 out there, lined up inside and out. Yeah, those two going to be special. When him and Chris start working together in the tandem, they're going to be really special these next few games and going into the playoffs. So it's just great to see Charles out there, man. It's great to see him out there. And he's, like I said, he's a warrior. He's a warrior. He's out there giving it, swimming and all of that. And you can see a difference. You can see it, Long Joker, man, getting around O-line and whatnot. They had to move Aiden O'Connell around a little bit. So I think he's going to really, truly let it fly this next week. I think he's really, truly going to let it fly. And it's one of those, you just got to see it. You got to get it. So Charles is a little rusty. Yeah, he's a little rusty. It's different, man. When you're getting double teamed and all those, it's crazy. It's a whole different thing, man. When you're out there fighting for your life, when things get real. So I think he got that feel now, and that's what he needs. He needed this game to get that feel back. He needed to get this game, and it was good for him to get this game. Why he got it? Because now he's like, I am ready. My knee and all that can handle it. I'm there. So we know, injury is going to psychologically play with you for a little bit. We understand, especially ACL. It's going to play with you. So, but sometimes you just need to prove to yourself that you can do it. I think he proved himself that he can. So it's going to be good for him to be able to do it. But I gave a D-line, I think they did a decent job from what they had, generating a little bit of pass rush here and there, kind of in spurts. So I'm gonna give the D-line actually, I'm gonna give them a B-. B- C+. B- C+. I think Chris, man, came in and got after some guys that really helped out. Menahu too, coming in, giving the spark that he did, having a warrior mentality. So right around there, B-, C+ is where they are. B-. I'm gonna give them a B-. Okay, give them a B-. So it was good to see that.
Yeah, I mean, Menahu coming back, definitely provides some juice. Otto Brown says something interesting. Has anyone noticed that when Uche's in the game, the offense knows a rush is coming and the shift protection to allow for a quick strike? Well, the funny thing is about that, though, Uche only had one snap this past game. So, I mean, like, you would think his snap count would go up a little bit being in the team for like the last 4 weeks, but it went down.
Yeah. Them suckers running the football, man. I'm talking about, they want to run the football.
Yeah.
You want to run the football. And the run opens up the pass. Imagine that, Marcus. Imagine that.
Yeah.
So, they did a tight end reverse. They used to do tight end reverses in college. They gave one to Brock Bowers. He got the first down.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's where we are.
Man. Too bad.
Yeah, Todd Toe-Free. Charles Menahu would be good to go in the next few weeks. No doubt. Absolutely. That's what he just needed to knock some of that rust off, get into like the quickness of everything, the explosion. That's what he needed to see. It's good.
Yeah. You can just see his presence out there was just, it changed some things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Put some fear in the O-line. All right, so now we're going to get the linebackers. Your guy, Nick Bolton, JD.
Nick Bolton. Hey, player of the game. Hey. So, I guess Nick Bolton, and it's terrible that everybody try to make it seem. Oh, Nick Bolton, and look at him. Nick was all over the place. He had a series. I wanted to show the series, man. Nick he made one series he just made play was all him. It was all him. And that's what he has to him. He's a tackle machine. He did the one we knocked the pass down. That was a terrible ball by Aiden O'Connell for one. If he threw it in front of him, he might have ran for 6 on that one. So Aaron throw, but Bolton was there, knocking the ball down. Good. He read his eyes, but ain't no kind of that was a bad throw. But not taken away from him being Johnny on the spot. Nick Bolton did a good job. Drew Tranquil did a good job. You know, our linebacker core, man, was pretty solid this game. They were solid. It was solid. Sometimes you run downhill against those big guys. They get their hands on you, which says what they wanted to do. It's always tough. It's always tough. If I'm a lineman and tight end, I want to be able to get my hands on the linebackers before they could get around you and move. And that's what they did. And they did a good job of it. They did a good job of it. But Nick and those guys did a good job defending. They actually did a good job in the passing game too. So was able to communicate, did some good things. I'm gonna give my linebackers. I'm actually gonna give them a B. They're solid guys. So down those guys, I give them a B. B minus is where I wanted it. I started this out B minus. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Nick Bolton, I would say he was the MVP for, well, not of our defense, but he was definitely up there with Jones for sure. Yeah, like Sparkle Sports Cards. Nick was backing up everything.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. If people want to rain down this guy's parade, but he continues to and talk about guys playing injured. This guy's a warrior, dude. I mean, he's playing with a few injuries, and you can tell.
You can tell. But his mind just won't let him quit. It won't let him just lay down. It's not going to do it. When you need him to do something, he's going to be there. And if the guy, I actually had to block somebody. I never blocked anybody before, Marcus. And the only reason I blocked him was because how this dude was talking to how they was defending me. I could care less. What somebody said to me on Twitter and stuff like that, I keep it open. I don't care. I care less. Like as far as like criticism and stuff like that, cool. Go with what you know, because I'm gonna give it right back to you what you give to me. I love it. So I'm a fighter. That's what I do. Okay, but I don't let things bother me. But what does bother me is when you start coming after, people that I'm like, I look at it might be family on here and stuff like that. I'm gonna swing for y'all. Y'all don't have to worry about anybody else. Y'all come if they come for y'all. Listen, hey, Chief Concerns family. If they come for y'all, they coming for me. Okay, I want y'all to know that. All right. You got your boy JD. You got it. I got y'all back. Okay, they come for you. They come for me. That's how I feel about it. All right. And so this Joker, I can't remember his name, is out here, but he always shows up when the Chiefs don't always have a good game. We 11-1. Oh, your boy ain't elite. He always says with the Bolton elite. He ain't elite. He ain't elite. Nick Bolton, to me, is an elite linebacker. He's a solid guy. So if you want to use the word elite and then don't take it from elite, is he not good? Is he not solid? Is he not a starting linebacker in this league? Would no team love to have a Nick Bolton? Yes, they would. So to me, I think that's an elite guy. I think what he's done over the past few years is done a great job. Okay, so when you want is the word elite is the one that's getting you? Is that the one that's getting you? Okay, because when the guys you're using on elite, I see them miss tackles. I see them guys get beat. I see that. I was watching them dreadheads last night, man. Running around, look like two predators. But saying Fred, them jokes. Hey, but they ain't gonna be perfect all the time either. So, but Nick Bolton, solid guy. Come on, man. Good linebacker. He's a hell of a linebacker. A hell of a linebacker in this league. So don't take nothing away from Nick Bolton. They ain't gonna do it on my watch because I'm sitting there, I'm watching this joke, and that sucker is playing some football. Yeah, the reason we in the games that we in is because of Nick Bolton, the things he's been doing. So I love it. Tad look like the Tasmanian devil. That's right. Yes, he is. He's not gonna knock him out. But somehow, man, he's another one that just gets a lot of hate for no reason. So I'm just gonna leave it right there. So yeah, I had to block it for.
Yeah, no,
I had to block him.
Yeah, I don't think I blocked him. But I mean, I think I muted him. But I mean, it didn't matter. I call the guy out. I mean, the guy's a troll. He's a John Dorsey fan account with like 40 followers, and like he's trying to like get at you for defending Nick Bolton. Like what?
Hey, man, I let it keep coming. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'll never use the block button, that I did on it was like, man, you ain't gonna be talking to people that follow me like that. You know what I mean? It got nasty, and I'm like, this is some ignorance. It's ignorant right
Yeah.
now. So
Yeah. Clown, man. A clown.
yeah.
Andres,
our team gets so much hate. Yes. Yes.
But the irony about this guy is he's a Chiefs fan, but
Yeah. And from the Chiefs fans, some of the hate comes in. I heard somebody say this weekend, like, I'll be shocked if they make the Super Bowl to play. I was like, what? Are you kidding? I'm like, man, don't say it ain't so. I'm like, here we go. And that's the frustrating part with me, man, is when I see a team that's 11-1, okay? And the wins don't have to look pretty. They don't. And I get we want more from the team, but sometimes it's just the NFL, those teams get paid too. They get paid to win games, Marcus. Hey, newsflash, those jokers that line up against us every single Sunday, like I said, they circle this game knowing they are playing the Super Bowl champs. They know that. They know that. And it's one thing, man, for somebody to throw dirt on you, but when it's your own folks, and I'm not saying they're not above criticism, because we criticize, we talk about the things that need to get better. We know that. We know that. Then you have these suckers that come out here with that all your doors. What? What are you talking about? This foolishness. It's ridiculousness, Marcus. Some of the stuff. So, all right.
No, you're good. No, I mean,
I'm done.
people just want to say what they want to say, whatever.
Yeah.
We don't have to hear it. We can mute it or block it. All right. So now you loved what you saw from Nick Bolton. Now we're gonna get to the secondary, which there wasn't a lot to love in the secondary, JD.
Yep. So we talked about this is going to be an issue and a problem. And teams understand when you're looking at the film, they know it's all about matchups. Offensive, when you go into the game, you're trying to dictate how defense is going to play you. Okay. And so what they wanted to do, they wanted to exploit some of our younger guys. They want to exploit some of our safeties, a new corner, and Nazi, Connors. Knowing those guys are not going to have the communication and cohesiveness that they need for that. And it showed. It showed. Jacoby Meyer opened up wide open, and it was a miscommunication. Who has who? Does Nazi have help over top? Does he have you met? What are you doing? Is it cover 3? What are we running, right? And you look at it, because there's no communication. Somebody should be running, in, out, right? Are you banjoing it, okay? Meaning I take the inside guy, you take the outside guy. And he goes, you take him. So it's just miscommunication. Everybody's not on the same page like they should. And it looks like they're not on the same page. But also, too, if we're matched up with a safety, the wide receiver should win. Heck, a guy with the speed of Brock Bowers and the craftiness, what he can do, so going to have a field day. And he did. He did. Brock Bowers had 10 catches for 140 yards. 10, 140. Probably could have had more. And they knew what they was going to do. It's going to be the matchup. Brock Bowers game. He took us to task. You sit there and you look at, man, who's got Brock Bowers? Who has him? And it was like, I don't know who it is. Didn't matter who it was. Boop, 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 boop. He was just like, he was lining them up. Lining them up. He got a little bite out of everybody. Everybody got a little taste of Brock Bowers that day. So Jacoby Myers came out. First half was burners. Trey Tucker came on the sideline, man, ran one up the sideline on Oh, Lord. Oh, man. Reed, God bless him. You know what I mean? That sucker's fast. This sucker's fast, man. He did everything to try to keep up with it. He just couldn't do it, And he had cushion on it. But same thing. You got to get some pressure. Make Aiden O'Connell, but they knew when he came in motion, they see who he had. We are going bombs away. They knew they was going to throw everything out. They knew it. They knew they was going to throw everything. We can't get caught like that, man, with our pants down. We can't. We can't. Oh man, them out the Green Bees. There's a lot of new fans, bro. They don't know. Just laughed at. Yeah. As far as it was shocking. I just, man, I hate to see it. I hate to see it. All right. I don't want to get on our guys that bad. Okay, but they knew need to do a better job communicating, coming down, making plays. Cook was out of place, didn't make plays like I thought he would. He's recognizing things a little bit too slow. We need a breather. This week, we need a breather. Because the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, they've been going after our safeties like, shoot. Like I said, everybody wanted to show up like, no, I got him next. No, I got him. And they choose which one they want. I got this one next. And everybody, it's like when you get into training camp, Marcus. It's training camp all over again. You know how you get out there. I want this guy. Line him up. And you know why? Because you can run a good route on it. You want to get open. You want to show what you can do. And so you want to look good, impress the coach, impress the teacher, bring an apple, line up against this guy. And that's exactly what they did. And I seen Spags. And I seen the face on Spags. And I seen Spags just frustrated because he's just like, what the hell do I do? What else do you need for me to do? Spags can go out there and line up and play for him. This guy's going to have to be able to do it. They're going to have to be able to do it. So Joshua Williams come in. Yay, finally, Joshua comes in. Good, Joshua. He gave us something. He gave us something. That lone joker, man, I'm just like, man, where you been? Good. Put you in a situation to come out there and make some plays, and he did a good job. To me, because he hadn't been playing, I thought he did a decent job. I did. Now, McDuffie, somebody was talking about McDuffie. McDuffie hadn't really looked the same either. He hadn't looked the same. And they're not scared of McDuffie anymore. They throwing the football around him. Excuse me. Maybe that's what they needed was just that, combination of Snead and those guys out there. But like you said, since, Jalen went down, hadn't looked the same. Hadn't looked the same. Just be honest. Hadn't looked the same. So maybe it was legs chasing all these wide receivers around and tight ends around, man. Maybe we needed that rest, okay? But we need to get better in that secondary. We need to get better, okay? So Jay Will was high on PFF, was he? I didn't even look and see him. He did a good job, man. But that's why we brought him here. We brought him here for his length. We knew that Snead was going to come up. Look, okay, let's go ahead and talk about it. The reason we brought Joshua Williams in is because we knew we was going to have a contract talk with Snead, okay? And we needed to find somebody young who's going to come in and challenge him for that spot, okay? We knew that. That was the game plan. And so that's how it worked. So that's why they felt like they needed to move on from Snead because they knew they weren't going to be able to pay him. Joshua Williams was supposed to be that guy, all right? That's why we threw those guys in early. Because we wanted to see what they could do, Marcus. We wanted to see what their adjustment was. We wanted to see, can they swim in this league? Can they make a difference? Okay? Fayetteville, come on, baby. And he looked good. Then all of a sudden, this past year, it didn't look like the same old guy. Now, I'm not sure exactly what it is. Could be some things there that, hey, look, he feels like he needs to play more. He's not getting it. And all of a sudden, he gets upset with it. He gets upset not getting the playing time. I know how that feels. You get there, right? You get in your own little feels, okay? You get a little pissy, okay, because you're not getting what you want. Well, look, The coach is asking you to get out of your fields. Okay, we need for you to be a professional. Come out there and come play. And this is just me speculating. Okay, it's me speculating, but this gave me an opportunity, man, to show what he can do. Now your opportunity. Here it is. Don't blow it. Do not blow it. Because if you don't blow it, this job is going to be yours. Okay? Come back out. Humble yourself. Get back where you needed to. Mindset, mentality to come out there and dominate. He did a decent job. He did a good job, I think. Josh did a good job. I'm like, this is what we brought you in for, big fella. I told you, when I see him on the sideline, that joke was big, man. He's long. I'm like, dad, God. Because he ran by me and Charles were talking. He ran by me. Man, who was that? I said, is that Joshua Williams? I'm 6'6". And that sucker looked 6'3" and better, 6'4". I'm like, okay. Like, ain't no reason why you should be out here. You should be killing everybody. So that's what we needed. We need that from Joshua Williams for the rest of the season, for the rest of the year. Najee could come in. He could play that nickel guy. He could be in that subset, that nickel package. Najee could play that. He could play that. He could play that. Maybe that's what's got to be, Marcus. Najee can tackle too. I like his tackling. Najee does a good job. He's a smart player. He knows where he needs to be, and technique-wise, fundamental sound, he's going to be that. We keep putting these safeties out here. I'm sorry, not taking anything away from them, but you have a superior athlete against, a safety, a wide receiver. If a wide receiver can't be a safety, strong safety, free safety, you don't need to be playing in the NFL. I go to any wide receiver in the NFL and saying, you got a safety that's going to be able to cover you? If he says, well, yeah, you don't need, I can't use you. Come have a seat. You need to sit down here. Go sit down there by the water cooler, because that's the wrong answer. If you don't think your matchup with a safety should be 9 out of 10, then I cannot use you. I can't. So I'm done. That's my rant. Okay? That's all I want to give. Calm down. All right? But with our base defense, man, Joshua Williams needs to be in. Najee, if he's been struggling, I think he has, fighting injuries and all those different things, communication, getting in, learning all this. And I love Najee. We love him. We love Najee. Okay? We have a heart for Najee here. We do. Right? But he struggled. Joshua came in, he gave us a good break and a breather. So that's what we need. We need to see that going forward. Okay? But those other guys in the back, Reed and Cook, hey, man, y'all want to step up. Because if you don't, we're going to see 27 and 21 coming here even more. And they hungry. They hungry. But are they ready to communicate and do things up? Are they ready? That's the question for them. You need solid guys to do things like that. Justin Reed is a guy that understands putting guys in the right position. Justin Reed does everything right, okay? But maybe physically he can't get there. He trying to get Trey Tucker. Lord have mercy. So, yeah. But with that being said, I'm sorry. I know I took a long time talking about that. I had to get that off my chest, man.
Yeah.
Our secondary needs to be a much better job, and I think they will going forward. Okay.
Would you contemplate playing Hicks and getting him more snaps back there in place of a Cook, or no?
Sure. Why not? Rotate him. Bring him in. See what it's going to be. I think Hicks does a good job. He's a pretty decent tackler, man. Does he have a feel? Does he know where it needs to be at all times? It's a question. Okay. And I think he is. I think he's a bright kid. I think he's so Hicks reminds me of like that bulldog who's just always ready. He's just always, it's like, hey man, calm down. Like just, he's just ready to go hit anything and just do everything. Okay. Just got to play within the frame of stuff. And I think he's getting there. He's a good player. I like Hicks a lot. I like him. But with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and just say, oh, man, for our DBs. God dog. Oh, Lord. Man. I'm gonna let y'all. No. I'm gonna give them. Joshua came in, did a decent job. I hate to give guys like D pluses. I don't want D pluses. I don't want to give them a D plus.
If the shoe fits.
I know it, but they shoot. I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna give them a very low C minus,
Oof.
or maybe a D plus. I go with a D plus. That God. Oh. God.
You're almost generous there for a second, but no, you got to give them the real deal.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
lots of room for improvement. So I think it can only go up from here. So that's good.
Look, I'm trying to give them some praise where they need it. It just seemed like there was just too many. You shouldn't, at the very end of the game, you shouldn't be. It's too easy to go down the field like that. Too easy. Too easy. Be able to score like they did second half. I'm like, man, come on, man. We can't do that. We can't do that. Can't do that.
Aiden O'Connell, too. I mean, I know you're decently high on Aiden O'Connell, but for Aiden O'Connell to drive down like that, like it looked like Rich Gannon in his prime,
Yeah.
that can't happen, man.
Aiden O'Connell, one thing I could do, he could throw a decent ball. That's why I like Aiden O'Connell. I think he's a decent quarterback. You know, he's not the answer for him, but he was the answer for him this past week. So everybody's sitting over saying D. Anderson, I said D. Sparkle Sports Car D. Okay. It hurts sometimes, but it's the truth. Dang, Greg Rose. Yeah, it does. Yeah. I don't think they're okay with what they gave either. So yeah, D plus, C minus. I'm right there. That's where I am with it. That's where I am.
The only like silver lining and bright spot is maybe after this game, maybe the Raiders think they might have some with Aiden O'Connell, and they try to go. They try another year with Aiden O'Connell and maybe another veteran to battle it out in camp. So maybe it's a silver lining there that they might think they have their franchise quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey. Sucker was like, oh, yes, I got. Oh. Hey, like, hey, man, it keeps me on the team. Go Casey fan say he's looking like Peyton. Man.
Peyton, not Peyton. I love that commercial.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going to go to the special teams before we get to the coaching grades, JD. I got to say, let's give Ariza some love, man. Guys, like a missile going down there making tackles, man.
Yeah. I'm like, man, who is that flying in like that? Yeah. I'm just like, dang, God, I said, it's Ariza. For you to punt and kick it and go down and cover like you doing, you an animal. Ariza, you're a daggone animal, man. I love it. Hey, we probably need to put you out there at safety or something.
Hey, you know what? He's going to come up like that. Woo!
Yeah.
I'll take it.
But he might be looking like running back Trey Tucker, like he might look like that too. Yeah. So
Probably.
we ain't go all the way there. So, but Ariza, man, the way he was hit, man, it was very impressive. Field goal kicker came in, did an excellent job. Great job by him. And so I love that. Doing a good job. Man, coverage. Man. Covering and our blocking. Not so good. Not so good. But because those guys did such a great job, Ariza and our kicker, what's his name?
Matthew Wright.
Right. Yeah, he was right. I'm gonna give him a B. Give him a B. So
Special teams wise, like as far as our return coverage was really rough. That was really rough.
Now the blocking too. We opened it up, and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, I know we're not leaving two guys on the outside open. Because you expected one to be a safety, but why would you leave two guys on one? And I'm just like, is it did we miss the blocking scheme? Because I'm like, I know Dave he didn't have this coached up. Maybe on the or on the return, but I'm like, no, I don't look right. Can't be. We can't lose 2 on the outside. Your 4 and 5 is going to be you guys coming down making the tackle. Josh Williams comes in and doubles up on the third guy. You want to leave 2 guys on the outside? And they what they did, they they kicked to the corner. So they knew how they wanted to, attack it. I don't know, man.
It's yet another week of just special teams, just kind of like going through the motions. It seems like.
Yeah, man. Some of these guys, man, it's got to care enough to them. I don't know if it means enough to them. Some of them guys, I don't want to call no names out, but the ones I see week in and week out, I'm just like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you really this is the job you have. And I get this might not be maybe your forte, but you better make it your forte. You better be damn good on it when you're supposed to be on it. Some of these guys is like, I don't see it. I'm incredible. So.
Yeah. Some of these guys better, And that's the thing, too. It's like, I get it. A lot of these guys were stars in college and before, but then now you're coming to the league and it's like, you're the special teams guy. And, we've talked about before, the Gary Stills of the world, the Kenyaron Foxes of the world. Those guys made their money playing special teams and being a pivotal part of our special teams. And that's why I was one of the best special teams, because we had guys who, did the extra stuff, who were, cared about their craft. That was their spot. That was their offense. That was their defense. And, and that's why still to this day, Chief fans remember Kenyaron Fox and Gary Stills because of what they did on our special teams. So, Yeah.
Young guys, man, they just don't understand yet. They don't understand. So it's like you got to pay your price, man. You got to pay your dues. And I don't. Some of these guys, they don't get it. They don't understand it. That's kind of like that young part of like getting to a place like, hey, man, look, we need more out of you than this. Don't learn it too late before you're out of the league. I'm telling you. If you want to make it your calling card, if you want to stay in the league, you better be damn good at something. The special teams is your thing that you're on. You better make every rep count. Every single rep count. If I'm told, I'd be pulling my head out. I would pull my hair out every single week. I'd be pissed. And I tell McCall, I said, man, you ought to be pissed too. Like, for this man not to have the returns like he should, he ought to be pissed. Because right here, what I'm seeing over here, this ain't good enough. So.
Yeah, Tobe did not look happy post-game in the locker room. All right, now we're going to get to the play calling, which a lot of people have been commenting on our YouTube channel about the play calling. Still, people think there's this magical playbook that's going to come midweek of January, and guys, it's not coming. JD, give us your grade for this this very odd play calling on a Friday.
So I'm gonna be brief with them. Listen, and I say this to myself too. As coaches, there's things that you want to try, things you want to be able to do. Do you have somewhat of a cushion? Sure, you do. 10-1 coming to this game. Some things that you might want to say, hey, look, let's try a little bit more of this, more heavy on this aspect. Okay, but you also make adjustments in the game. I do believe that going into the game, we should have been a little bit more like run. I think we should have ran the ball a little bit more than what we did. And when it didn't work, we should still, hey, let's keep trying to run, keep trying to do it. And I know sometimes the way that the flow of the game happens, it dictates your hand as far as like what you're going to call. So I think we should have adjusted it more instead of the passing as much as we did. We probably should have had at least 10 more runs. At least 10 more runs. And I think you did our offensive line a disservice by doing that, and Pat as well. So if you want to put your tackles and O-line compromise and in the ringer, that's what you do. Go pass heavy against a very good pass rush team. That's what they got as pass rushers over there. They got 2 stout guys on the inside and pass rushers on the outside. That's who they are, and they're going to attack you. And they did a damn good job against the offensive line. So we should have been running the ball more. Neff, run, and then run again. Absolutely. When you get in the red zone, especially the 15 or 10 on in, run the daggone football. Run it. Run it. We didn't do that. We did not do that. And I'm sitting there thinking, what the hell are we thinking about? Is that a 10? We ain't running the ball? We ain't handing the ball off? We ain't putting somebody lining up in the backfield, 2 guys or the 4 with the, diamond and say, we are running right here. This is what we're doing. We are running right here. We got 2 of the best in Pacheco, and we got Kareem Hunt. Running right here to the B gap. Running right here. And don't be afraid of it. And that's what we got to be able to do. We didn't do it. So, hey, the coaches made a decision as to how they want to be able to call a game. I didn't really like the scheme as much as far as doing the decision. But hey, guess what? They got the hardware, Marcus. They got the championship trophies. And I know they're trying things to get to a place where they need to be. So this is all a growing thing for coaches to get to. I guarantee they got to wait for a little bit and they came back and said, look, let's get this on point and what we need to do. Okay. So especially the things that we have. And so we didn't give him a Cole Hardman, didn't give him a shot, give him a chance. But I give Reed and Nagy, I give him a C+.
Fair. Very fair. And I know we've talked about this before, but for those people who are commenting on our channel saying fire Nagy, it's like, guys, I don't know how many times we have to go over this. This is the play calling is not Nagy's. This is Andy Reid's offense, and it's a collaborative effort, like we've talked about many, many times. It's not Matt Nagy calling plays. This is Andy Reid's playbook. This is Andy Reid's offense. He's the one calling plays, but it is a collaborative effort. I mean, he's the OC, but it's a collaborative effort between all those guys in the offensive room. So firing Nagy's not going to do anything, guys.
Amber Brown said 3rd and 2, and we go for a long strike to Worthy that missed and stopped short. Stop the clock. Well, we're going to trick him, and we're going to trick him again. We're going to trick him again. What? So, yeah, Neff, running back room is loaded now. Why not run? Great question. Great question, Neff.
Especially when Hunt was getting like 25 carries right out of being off his couch. We're giving him and Pacheco a combined 14 carries. That does not make any sense at all.
I would have felt disrespected a little bit as a running back. He come in, Pat, like, yeah, we're going to run play. What? Play action. Ugh, okay. Keep matriculating the ball, boys. Matriculate, that's right. Come on.
Yeah. Hopefully they get it right this week. I mean, every week we keep saying this, but hopefully things start to snap into coming into form. But we shall see. All right, JD. Defensive side, our guy Spags.
Spags, man, frustrated. I know he's sitting there saying, "Man, Dad got it. Our defense we ain't been playing Chiefs ball these last few weeks." I know he's frustrated because he's asking guys to step up to do certain things, and it's all on the guys to get the job done. I don't think he did anything as far as, putting guys. Well, sometimes he's asking that. You get your Sam Will, Mike linebacker, who they're going to be able to cover. And then when you come down to the safeties, they walk down man to man. You know what you're going to get. Do you call it? Do you call zone? Is that something that you need to do? Maybe need to go zone in certain cases like that. Man, but we're a man-heavy team in certain situations. And Spags trusted. He trusted. He might trust a little bit too much. And so that's the issue. Does it mean that we can't run zone? It doesn't mean that at all. I think we can. Guys just need to know where they need to be in the areas and spaces. So, yep. I I think Spags is frustrated. I'm going to give him a C+ also.
Again, right on, JD.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a tough game. I mean, offense and defense. I mean, I'm not surprised by any of these grades here. And it was just, it was what it was. But like we said, we came out with a win. Luckily, we did. But it wasn't pretty.
No, not at all. Not at all, man. But Spags got the same thing, put in position to make plays, man. And if it's something like it's like, hey, man, these guys not doing a good job. I know he's talking to him. Hey, man, communicate. Just open up. Let the guy know who has who. Okay, it shouldn't be that hard. Should he bring some young guys to play? Hey, he brought Joshua Williams in to do that. He's like, okay, good adjustment. Okay, we needed to see that. But I nickel package, man. We got to do a much better job in that subs. Okay, I didn't really see a lot of blitzes. Our blitzes hadn't really been getting home either. We haven't been doing it, and part of it is timing. From depth, you got to be able to match up the timing if we're going to do that. So there's some things we got to get better. So.
Definitely. All right, and then final grade, Dave Tobin. See how I was saying, JD, in the locker room after the game, he was not happy.
Dave looked like, man, I need me a drink. That's what that looked like. He'd like, shoot, I need me a half a bottle. He said, right here, man, you could tell he's pissed. He ready to cut somebody out. You couldn't even tell that joker. Like, man, did you have a good Thanksgiving? No. He just wouldn't. That's probably what all his answers were short. But yeah, that's how he looked. Pissed. Because he's a week in, week out, man. He's like, shoot, some of these jokers right here don't get it. So, DeMonte Green Bay said, can you mix the man and zones in one scheme? Yeah, you can. Yeah. Combination coverages is what you can do. So, you can definitely do that. Everybody just got to know where they are. And you don't want to make it more complicated than what it is, because that's where guys get lost, especially when we start seeing motion and stuff. That's why we run a whole lot of emotion, DeMonte. So that's how it happens. But, yeah. Dave is not happy. He's not a happy camper at all. But like I said, he's another one. He's another guy. It's like, I can't go out there and play for you. Guys messing it up. I know he's probably just looking at he's looking at the film. You just see him, he's like, he's just like his long time. They looking up at him. He's just like, yeah. Man, do you want to play? Do you even want to play? I'm gonna question some of you guys, okay? Because right here it's not good enough. It's not gonna make it in the league right here. Y'all gonna get me fired? Y'all gonna get me fired? Tell him like Jimmy Ray told us. He said, "Look, if they fire me, I'm gonna take some of y'all with me. So Dave told, man, I'm gonna give Dave, man, ain't his fault. I'm gonna give him a C+. All the coaches got C+ from me this week. C+,
Yeah. Definitely fair.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, what we're going to do with that, we're going to put that grade book away, and we're going to all eyes on the Chargers coming to town. So it's a good thing, we have a long break, and we're also at home during this break. So it's not like the guys have to go road tripping. No, we're staying at home. They come to town. So that's a good positive. So we get a mini bye, and we got people coming to town. So that's great.
Yeah. So look for our guys, man. I plan on going out there to the game. That's where it's going to be so far. I think it's going to be a good outing. It's going to be a good game. The Chargers have been disappointed in some of the things that they've been seeing, and they're going to come in here ready. Harbaugh's, he's looking for one. He's looking for a win against a very valiant opponent like the Chiefs. And so he needs to get them something good to kind of salvage their season somewhat. That's what they need to see. They need to see this. If they're a decent team, how does it? So Kathy Wilson, JD looks tired. Do I? I look tired? My wife said the same thing to me. I've been moving, doing some things, helping some folks out. But yeah, this look, Kathy, looking at a film like this, you can't help but put your hands in put your face in your hands, like, oh man.
It'll make you tired.
Yeah. All right. Jeez.
And also, I feel like the winter gear. You're warm. You got a toboggan on. You start getting a little tired with the toboggan. That can make you a little the hoodie and toboggan combination.
Oh
That's
man, I'm
cozy.
Yeah, definitely comfortable. Definitely. So yeah, Kevin Mars, I am going to the game. I'll be out to the game for sure. I'll be at the Chargers game. So Harbaugh may be looking for a win, but they ain't going to get one. Think Rustus Android or Rush USA Droid. I don't know which one it is, but they ain't gonna get one. This is. I like this matchup for us. This is a team that we needed to go against, that we know we're going to get their blows. They got a good offense. They got a good defense. This is a great matchup for us. So when people are questioning how serious are the Chiefs, we're going to find out. We're going to find out.
And they need to win as many games as possible to kind of stay in that wild card race.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, they're playing, man, to be in this thing. So
it's Rustus Android. So you're right. Rustus Android.
Okay.
There you go. All right, guys.
Yeah, 8-4. They 8-14.
And Lamakonki, who I was a big fan of, is just dominating over there.
Lad is doing pretty well, man.
Doing his thing.
Doing pretty well.
All right, guys. Well, that brings us to the end of the episode here. We will see you guys Wednesday night for our preview of the Chargers and Chiefs game, which JD will be at. And, of course, Friday night we'll have our betting show and JD's keys to victory. And, of course, JD will be at the game on Sunday. So, I guess TBD if you're going to be on the post-game show, JD. Are you gonna do it?
Yeah, to be announced. I'll let you know for sure.
Okay.
But I'm definitely going to try to get there for it to talk about it because I'm going to be right there in the house, man.
There you go. But we appreciate everybody hopping in with us during this, doing a dual Chief Concerns Monday morning tight end and with the Monday Night Football game, which is that's a shootout right now, 25-28 with like 10 minutes to go in the third quarter, JD.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Get up here and go check this thing out, man. Give me something to eat, man. So my wife made a nice little meal for me. So she already gave me the warning, warning sign. I see my little going off. So. Yeah. But listen, hey, good seeing you. G Pick, Greg Rose, Vegas Chief Kingdom, go forever. I'm the Brown, always my brother. Greg Rose, Richie Hall, thank you so much. Vegas Chief Kingdom, always good seeing you. The Monty Green Beans, my brother. Appreciate the donations and whatnot, man. Appreciate it. I know we always have a good conversation. Kathy Welch, thank you so much. Dane, good seeing you. About time. JD, you moving to Cali? No, hey, I wouldn't mind going out to visit, but I will never move out to Cali. G-Pick, Rustus Android. Appreciate it. Thank you, contribution. Good questions. Thank you so much. Let me see. Who else we got on here? Kevin Mars. Good to see you, my man. Kathy Welch. Let me see. Did I say Greg Rose? Nafis Foster. Oh, let's go, Chiefs. Get this together. I want a 3-peat. Yes, us too. And I think we're going to do that. Us too. We think we're going to do that. So, hey, Sparkle Sports Cars, good seeing you back. You've been on here a couple of times. Always good seeing you too. Neff, good seeing you, Neff. See you. Love you. Probably holler at you tomorrow. If not after this thing, we always have a conversation after it's over. Marion Oliver as well. Trey L, good seeing you, man. Yes, he does lay wood when he's out there at Marisa. I like him. Impressive. Andre Chanel, appreciate it, dear. Appreciate it. Darn. Trying to read and talk at the same time. So, but yeah, listen. Hey, appreciate each and every one of y'all coming up here, come checking us out, running our mouth. Tell us what you think about our grades, Justin Hutchin as well. If it was fair. If it wasn't, let us know. Okay. We like having a good time. We like talking to you all. Hope y'all have a wonderful evening. JW A4 in there. Run the ball more. We will do it. Life just right. Love Pop. We do too. Jeremiah de Muertos. Good seeing you, my man. Like always. Mike Brennan, my brother. Always good seeing you too. Listen, y'all guys, y'all take care. Like family. God bless. We'll see you on Wednesday. Mark's my brother. Love you, man. I'm about to go up here, feed my face with this wonderful, beautiful lunch, supper. Look at it. I'm just I'm flailing right now.
You're
Then
good,
my
man.
wife cooked. So
You're hungry. I get it.
I am. I'm gonna tell the missus we said hi, man. You know,
We'll do.
all right? Chris and let's see who else. Rick Henderson. Okay. Hey, I get to holler at y'all. Y'all know what it is. Love you guys. Marcus, love you, brother.
Love you too, brother.
All right. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Have a good night, man. See you Wednesday, everybody.
All right.
See ya. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.